Hey,
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Hazmat Guys.
we got a couple of quick things to mention before we get to our guest. Just for those that are listening, which will be the 15th of March the Ides of March.
Ooh, ooh. Beware of
The
those
next
odds.
after action report, we've gotten a lot of response about the after action report podcast, the next one will be April 3rd, 1930 hours with the esteemed Greg Knoll. Again, this is going to be a long form, probably about 2 hours ish is what they're running. Free comments are on, so come on in and interact. We're hoping to get some really cool stuff out there. Um, Another show that we're going to be having coming up, and this is the first time I think we're announcing it, is April 11th. We're having the Battery Destroyers Club Part 2. And that is going to be some interesting video because there was some new products that rolled out that I think are going to raise some eyebrows for some people out there. And the new website
The new
is
website's
coming.
rolling out. But I would be remiss to forget to mention we are in the process of a third battery destroyers thing, and that is in the middle of the country. So the coasts did it. Now the middle of the country wants in, and this one is going to be really cool because we are going to have access almost to unlimited batteries. Yeah,
Ooh.
and like car batteries, like EV
Oh,
stuff. Yeah, no, this is going to be really good. So we'll give more information as we get closer to September on that.
yes. So just to kind of bring this together, the new website is coming out. Sounds to be right around the Massachusetts conference, about March 26th. Very special day. And also, a ton of new swag is going to be coming out and hitting the store on April 1st. And no, that is not a April Fool's joke. That is actually going to happen. Um, New England Conference, March 26th to the 28th. OMRA, Michigan, Cold Zone, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Baltimore are on the calendars right now. That's it.
That works.
Okay. So let's bring in our very esteemed and a special guest, Monsieur Matt Sabini. How are you, sir?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
It's going
Doing
good.
great.
It's good to have you on. For those of you that don't know, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll boast you from where we see you.
So I'm one of the. I work in New York City in Hazmat 1. How I met you two.
Sorry.
Since then, I've been in Hazmat 1 for about 4 years. Just hit 4 years. And I was fortunate enough to be brought on the team as one of the instructors for the Hazmat Guys training division. So, that's been a whole great experience in itself.
Flagship, top notch.
Hey, top notch. Yes, he's one of our phenomenal instructors. Actually, just recently did a class, and then that class ended up having that exact run less than a week later. So it was a good class.
Yep.
But that is not why you are here with us today. We could talk about instruction and classes all day long, but you have a very special project that you work on and you've dedicated a tremendous amount of time to. So let's hear about what it is that you've got.
So I'm one of the founders and former presidents of the Floriansknights motorcycle club.
Hmm?
It's a long-winded explanation, I guess, but it all tie back. It's not really hazmat related specific, but it's first responder and firefighter related. So we're a club for professional firefighters. And the common goal is to promote PTSD and mental health awareness in firefighters and other first responders. We've done a lot of events. We used to do annual fundraisers for the Ronald McDonald House, and then we'd usually pick a veterans charity or first responder charity as well. I think we raised, the first 3 or 4 years we were doing that, we probably successfully raised about $50,000 between the 3 fundraisers. Then we kind of took a back seat and we wanted to kind of get back to our roots a little bit of giving back to and helping other firefighters and first responders. So last year we actually did our very first event, which is called the Protected by Nights Project. And it's going to be an annual thing. Selfishly, we get a road trip out of it, but which is the best part, being in a motorcycle club. But the goal is to basically we come to another city. We're very blessed being from our agency where we have a tremendous amount of resources built in to help peer counselors. The counseling service unit is amazing. Friends of Firefighters, it's an external organization, but they work hand in hand with the department and they do a tremendous amount of stuff, whether it's peer counseling, support groups, acupuncture, stuff like that, that they provide free of service to us. But traveling a lot and talking to other firefighters, other departments, they don't have nearly the resources we have to handle stuff like this. A lot of times they bring in outside counseling agencies and stuff like that. And we're firefighters. We don't want to talk to other people that can't relate to what we do. So the Protected by Nights project kind of came out of this. And the idea is we'll go to another city. For example, last year it was Milwaukee. We partnered with the Wisconsin Charitable Firefighters Foundation, and it's more or less a get together for the local firefighters. And we get all ideas for different types of possible alternative therapies, whether it's dog training groups, hiking groups. We had a mental health jujitsu support group that came out. We were there kind of promoting the mental health aspect of motorcycle riding. We had a flight school, float tanks, anything outside the box.
Flight school?
Flight, airplanes.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Damn it.
He wouldn't be allowed to talk about it anyway. That's the first rule.
Everybody knows that.
It makes sense.
So yeah, we just try to get everybody under one roof and get the first responders to come out and just more or less throw an event for them and kind of expose them to those different things. Just if it sparks an idea in their head.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, do you need, like, all right, everybody knows of PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. So do you need a traumatic event? Because when I think about PTSD, I'm thinking of like a singular event. Do I need like a single thing?
No, that's the thing. A lot of studies have found that, especially pertaining to us, even if you're not from a busy fire department, lots of small events. Maybe you had to work up somebody's grandmother one night and then it was a car accident and you saw some injury, stuff like that. A lot of small things that happen continuously over time can build up and have the same effect as one single large scale traumatic event. And that's kind of a lot of that's a lot of the things they're finding, especially with firefighters. And we're trying to break that stigma. You know, the three of us got on, and we were kind of part of that older wave where it was suck it up, bottle it up, and get back out there, get on the rig and do it again. And we didn't really talk about it. We just go back to the firehouse and with our 6 senses of humor, laugh it off.
Yeah, I don't really understand, why you need to talk about your feelings when we make fun of each other in the firehouse. Like, that has always been the best bet. So how am I wrong in that? Like, if that has worked for us for all these years, like why should I do anything different?
Well, there's a couple of different reasons, really. I mean, you have one, just take guys that they leave their firehouse. Say in our agency, you get promoted, you leave that firehouse, and now you're starting over. Now you're a boss. Now you can't really joke around with the guys the way you used to. So you kind of lose it a little bit. And that's just an active duty guy right there. Guys retire. Now they lost that firehouse element completely. They don't have that on a daily basis anymore. A lot of, I don't know exact statistics off the top of my head, but there's a lot of firefighters that retire and then later on they end up unfortunately taking their life or develop a lot of substance abuse issues. So there could be a lot of different ways it manifests over time, especially once you lose that support group.
It could be like a long-term chronic buildup.
Yes.
Of crud.
Of crud.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Right. Like doing 15 years, 20 years, just going on small runs, and they build up and they bottle up. And if you don't have that outlet, or you don't have at least an external healthy source outside the firehouse, that unfortunately, that's where we see problems build up.
So my 20 years, the stuff that I've seen could have had an effect on me. I could have been coping with it great in the firehouse because that's where everything was. But now that I've gone, I have nothing now to rely back on. That coping mechanism is gone. So I would start to then feel the effects of that trauma that I've experienced throughout my career.
Sure, and it might take a while to even expose itself or show itself. Some people, it could be one particular event and they forget about it, and then it resurfaces later. Something triggers it, and then that one event starts presenting itself to that person and affecting them.
I would imagine that like a club and I'm sure you're not the only one in a nation or the world that does things like this, but like I can imagine like getting into a club like this where you need it, and then finding like identity in it, and then just being like, I love these guys, I'm gonna hang out with these guys, and then you almost like pay it forward or feed it back kind of thing.
100%. Absolutely. That's what's great about for us with the motorcycle club. We have, it's an excuse to get out and go hang out with the boys too. But there is a very positive benefit of that. We have guys in the club that were promoted. They lost that tight group from their old firehouse. Several of us have transferred to other firehouses, such as myself. So you have that old tight knit group that you were a part of, and then you leave, and then that kind of falls apart and you lose that. It's kind of a constant that stays there, having the club. And then just the riding, the wind therapy, as most motorcyclists call it. Wind therapy is real. It actually does help.
So what are some of the positive feedbacks that you guys have gotten from this? What things do you, if I were to attend one of these events, you come into my town, I don't have the backing of my department for mental health. I come in, what are you guys hoping to achieve by holding these events, and why should I go to something that you guys are having near me?
Well, one, it's just we're setting it up to be a great good time just to get out and get everybody together, mingle, make friends in other departments. But two, we're trying to, again, like expose them. Like, for example, that Brazilian jiu-jitsu support group we had there, try and expose them to that. Like, hey, I always wanted to try jiu-jitsu. And whether they're actively considering finding something to help them mentally or not, they're aware of those problems. Maybe they find that group and they start going to jiu-jitsu, and that's another great, positive, healthy outfit. Constantly thinking while you're rolling on the mat with somebody else, or again, not the fight club, the flight school, but again, just something else that's a healthy, positive outlet for you to start enjoying when you're outside the firehouse. So when the fire department's gone, when life after the fire department hits you and you don't have that group anymore, you still have that positive outlet instead of sitting around doing nothing and then falling back to, I love my tequila as much as anybody, but we don't want people to start becoming, developing issues with that. We can try to keep that from happening.
You were mentioning before the show about a video or a movie?
Yeah, so when we were starting the club, a production company out of Canada actually caught wind. When the club first started, it was a bunch of guys in Vancouver, Canada, and us in New York City. We started out together, and this production company found out about it. They loved the messaging. They wanted to dive into it and make a documentary, not just about how firefighters from across the continent on different coasts could bond and have the same passions and ideals, but how the motorcycles help us, how that's our outlet, and also to shine a light on the whole subject and the fire service in general. So the movie is called Florian's Knights. It was supposed to be released on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and Delta variant decimated our theatrical release. So that killed it. And since then, it's really become a word of mouth phenomenon. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Again, it's the same name as the club, Florian's Knights, like St. Florian, the patron saint of firefighters. It's a great 2-hour watch. I always try to plug it at the end of one of my classes I'm doing, just to turn somebody onto it and get that conversation started. But I've gotten emails forwarded to me from the production company, from firefighters all over the country, even the world. Just, I guess they just start opening up. They're talking to somebody through a keyboard, and it's not face to face, but they saw my face in the film and they feel like they can relate to me. And I've kind of become like a keyboard therapist sometimes. It's just that, just people seeing that.
Yes. People come to me all the time to help with their mental health issues.
Yeah, they're like, God, these guys are jerks.
But they see that film and it starts the conversation for them, and they can open up about it and they start talking about it. So I'm very proud of how that film turned out and what it's done. It still continues to gain momentum, again, just through word of mouth, and it's kind of become like a cult phenomenon, more or less. But if anybody wants to watch it, don't watch it with kids in the room. It's dark. There's plenty of cursing. It is a 2-hour documentary. It gets pretty in depth. Follows myself and another guy, Kirk Smith. He's retired out of 17 truck. They followed us around from New York, Detroit Fire Department, Vancouver, and Toronto. So half the film is focused on the motorcycle aspect and how we're promoting that as our way, and just to get the messaging out. And then they also do ride-alongs with a lot of departments and talk to firefighters about things they've experienced and seen, members they've lost. Yeah, it was just a really cool, unique experience to be a part of. Something I'm really proud of, and I hope we can keep getting the message out and pushing it and try to make a change. If it reaches one person and stops them from going down the wrong path, then it did more than it was intended to do.
Is it possible for somebody who hears this, does a little research on you and the club, to turn around and go, oh my God, I want these guys to come host an event here?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually had, we've had several different agencies. They found out just through the networking of getting groups to come into our first one in Milwaukee. A couple of different agencies have reached out to doing this, having us come put this on for them. And we're just locking it in now. It looks like we're going to be doing Nashville this October, and their surrounding areas. Dallas, hopefully we'll probably do Dallas next year. They've reached out to us as well. So a lot of these departments, again, they don't have these, even anything like a counseling service. They don't have it in-house. They have to bring in outside people. Maybe they have peer counselors, maybe they don't. But even if they don't want to talk, if they just have something they can go do, and we're just trying to spark the conversation and get their brain rolling to find other activities, other healthy outlets.
The video, that's where can they find that? I'm going to put it all in the show notes and everything like that. But is it on YouTube?
It's on Amazon Prime. There's a couple of different streaming services, but if you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, if you're not subscribed, not a Prime member, you can rent it. If you are a Prime member, you got it for free. It's in there. You just got to search for it.
Amazing.
And
I will, we're going to get the contact information for anybody that needs it. We're going to put it all in the show notes, and have whatever Matt can supply us with a little bit of a summary of what the club is and everything like that. By all means, we'll put that in there. So
yeah, we have a website, floriansknights.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram. They can reach out to us directly from any of those platforms and get in contact with us.
What are some of the things somebody should be looking for, right, in PTSD? Now, I know, like I said, we are extremely fortunate where we came from. I mean, we were screened for PTSD on every medical that we had. Our department was very, very supportive with mental health. For people that have to kind of bear through this by themselves or don't even really understand or know, what would be some of the first resources that you would tell them to start to reach out to? What are some of the things that they should be looking for in even just starting to recognize post-traumatic stress disorder?
I mean, that's hard to say, because some people, I've talked to some people from other departments, and they've told me stories where they had conversations with people, a friend of theirs, and everything seemed fine. They were talking about the future. Everything seemed happy. And then their friend took their life a couple days or a week later, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. For that self-recognition thing, you really got to kind of have an honest look at yourself and look at your life. Like, do you feel like things around you are maybe falling apart? Are you drinking more than you used to? any kind of substance abuse, like that's usually a big giveaway where the stuff will build up to that. But a lot of it kind of comes from that self-recognition, and it presents differently for everybody. You're getting more closed off. You're not talking to people. You're not enjoying the things you used to do, the hobbies you used to do. That's one of the ways my wife kind of first pointed it out to me. She was like, you're miserable all the time. You used to be happy doing this stuff. Now you're not happy. And it kind of took that moment of self-reflection on me. Like, yeah, I need to kind of like start reevaluating what's going on with me. Really, a lot of it's just being honest with yourself and taking that look inward.
It is. And that's kind of why we wanted to just get this episode out there, is because, like, whether you know it or you don't know it, it's at least a point to kind of get that 20 minutes in the car where you're like, does this affect me? And if it does, that's cool. Reach out to these guys and get in front of it. We've always, I think Mike is of the same opinion. We've always done what we can for the community. And this is one of those things where we said, let's take a knee on hazmat for a second and give back to, to just the personal development of the person. And this is the perfect mode.
Yeah. And I'm very thankful you guys decided to dedicate an episode. We're not necessarily talking hazmat, but most of the audience is
first responders.
Absolutely. So it certainly applies.
Yeah.
So we'll put all this stuff into the show notes, and we will put all the info that you need at the bottom. Thanks, Matt, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You guys will see him out in the road. He's one of our A-team instructors.
Pennsylvania.
And I can say that confidently.
That's right.
Where are you?
Lancaster on Saturday, and I forget the town on Monday night.
Bethlehem.
Thank you.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, he's obviously of the A-team because we don't hire the B team.
There are no B teams. Except for that one guy.
Yeah.